Hi, I'm Selena. Welcome to the CoreFit lifestyle. Come do Pilates with me. This is a full body workout using all of my favorite at-home props. I'm standing, visualizing that there is a ball between my feet, engaging inner thigh and pelvic floor and lifting through the crown of the head. The top of the head follows the ball and the shoulders stay anchored in the back to really challenge the obliques and the core stabilizers. You can feel the pelvic floor engaging to hold your pelvis in place as the long levers of the arms provide resistance for the abdominals and shoulders. Holding the hips in place, we rotate at the rib cage, turning the chest toward the floor, always keeping the shoulders rooted down in the back, head following the bottom of that big red ball, reach up through the crown of the head. And the isometric in the abdominals to maintain the pelvis facing forward as the rib cage moves independently around the pelvis is a challenge for all the muscles in the abdominals and lower back. Holding length in the spine, keep visualizing pulling the head all the way up to the ceiling. Back of the head lines up with the back of the shoulders. And the addition of the small ball is a great prop to help you to have the proprioception and the feedback to keep the head in its place. The length in the spine provides resistance for the abdominals. Now we're using our navel to sink back, keeping the lower back at the very top of the ball. Hold it in its place, no rolling, no wobbling. And we just want to really be focused on the placement of the feet. Try and hold the balance under the center of your feet. Body weight is really directed over the upper half. So keeping the weight of the head on the ball, we use the ball as a visual for a pillow, keeping all the weight of the head on the ball. We're driving long through the shoulders and curling deep from the chest down to the pubic bone. Really strong abdominal exercise, so you've got to breathe. Keep the shoulders rooted down. Now the rotation adds resistance for the obliques. And we're keeping the engaged abdominals by keeping that chest pulling down toward the pubic bone. Rounding, dropping the shoulders. Now reaching back up. Of course, the shoulders being rooted in the back only lends to more back strength and core stability. Squeezing that 4-pound weighted Pilates ball behind the thigh really engages the hamstring muscle. Squeezing it as you lift, you're really adding extra fire to those glutes. Now we're pulsing. The higher you go, the better it works. Opening out to the side adds challenge for the hip cuff muscles. Also increases hip mobilization as you strengthen. Take a squeeze on that soft ball between the knees. The challenge here is to hold the legs up in line with the pelvis, always keeping the lower abdominal lifted up into the lower back to support. Tight squeeze on that soft ball really engages those inner thighs. The more you are engaged in your inner thigh and legs is the less pressure on the lower back. And we squeeze and release to fire up the work for the inner thigh. Pulling up from the navel, we're rounding. Using those deep core stabilizers to stay balanced. Trying to keep body weight out of the shoulders and turning the chin toward the pubic bone as you scoop up, pressing through the abdominals to the sky. Holding the plank on the extension. Engaging the upper back muscles is going to help to relieve tension from the wrists and shoulders. And make sure to keep the supporting leg fully extended and long, keeping your focus on light in the hands, abdominals lifted to support the lower back. Little pulses really drive up the heart rate and the fat burn right where you want it. Opening into that half circle while holding the pelvis and opposite leg in place. Light on the hands, really focuses the work in the hip cuff and glutes. This is one of the hardest glute exercises that you will ever do. As simple as it looks, it is really not easy to hold those legs up in line with the pelvis. And we're getting the work in 3 ways. Squeezing the ball, inner thigh, hamstrings engaged to bend the knees and hold the legs up is glutes. Really important to take the stretch, pressing down into the tops of the feet, lengthening through the back and breathing.